Welcome to the International Racing League IRL F1 round 6 in Monaco today. As at the moment we've only got 10 drivers currently. We are still waiting for some more drivers to turn up. However, we have one new driver who is in the Ferrari today. I believe he will be replacing Lewis Marshall. His name is Liquid Blocks. It's Edward. So he may be a title contender against Matthew today. We know he's pretty quick. Let's see what he can do today. As I just wait for everybody else to turn up. Just making sure everything is set up correctly. So where is everybody? Either way, while we wait, I believe we're going to go in the standings for IRL F1. As you can see, the lead hasn't really changed. Matthew's still in the lead with 104 points. 45 points gap, I believe, to Mark Espy with 59 points. And Jay's in third, and he's come back today. See what he can do today, see if he can get close to Mark. But Jay's with 51 points. There's a bit of a gap from our defending champion, Jack Oil, of Season 5, with 33 points. Then Sondre is in 5th place with 31 points. And Brandon Glover can tying on points for 6th and 7th with 30 points. I'm just going to read out the top 10 anyway. Louis Welsh with 25 points, and Amir and Lee Kelly. Oh, sorry, Amir's on 18 points, and Lee Kelly is on 16 points in 10th. I'll read out the four constructors. The four constructors is Renault with 131.5 points in the lead. Haas in second with 72 points. Red Bull Racing in third with 66 points. Alfa Romeo Racing, after a very strong result last week in USA, with 43 points. Mercedes with 40. Toro Rosso Honda with 32 points in 6th. In 7th place we have McLaren with 31 points. And in 8th, Racing Point with 30 points. And a bit of a gap to Ferrari, who are in 9th with 14 points. And then a bit of another gap from Ferrari to Williams. Williams in 10th with 8 points. So it looks like we are going underway with 10 drivers. It is Monaco, so I wasn't expecting biggest turnout because I knew 4 drivers weren't going to turn up today, which is a shame. But that's how it goes. So everyone will be able to score points. Qualifying prediction today is going to be Matthew first, second I'm going to give it to Mark, and third place I'm going to give it to Lee Kelly. I don't think anybody else is going to really challenge those 3 today, and I think the only person who's probably close enough is Jay, in pace wise, so we'll have to wait and see what everyone can do. As I can hear a Ferrari engine going out already underway, but there's a McLaren who's going to beat him to it, and it's Lee Kelly. So Lee Kelly will be the first one out of the pits. As I can see, Edward is also now coming out of the pits out of his Ferrari. See what Lee can do today against championship points leader, because we know Lee is pretty quick around Monaco. He has had a lot of practice. See what the youngster can do. Goes through tunnel. Now he's approaching to back. There's an Alfa Romeo there. And Lickle's already hit the wall. Enough of that though, we'll go on Lee Kelly now, who's about to start his lap. Let's see what he can do at the exit of turns 17 and 18. This is now approaching turn 1. Nice tidy exit, nice entry into turn 1 there. Into turn 2. Going into turn 3 now, approaching the casino. Nice and tidy so far in sector 1 from Lee Kelly. Goes into gear 1 there. Doesn't really short shift. Goes into the hairpin of the Grand Hotel. Not the best line he could have done. But this might be just a banker lap from Lee Kelly now as he's going through Portier into tunnel. See what Lee can do in sector 2. What sector time it will be. So he's approaching the little chicane. Got to get that right, because one little mistake can cost you either a wheel or making you spin around. As he's gone past to back into the swimming pool section. Nice and tidy there from Lee. Into the final 2 corners. Good exit there from Lee Kelly. What time is it going to be for provisional pole position? It's going to be a 19.8. And I believe Louis was the next one after that. But it was invalid. Oh no, he pitted again. That's weird. As we'll go on board with Brandon right now. I know he is on a lap time. Bit wide there. He is going to be on the medium tyres as Cannes set a 111.8 on a set of hards. Mark SB a 19.8 on a set of softs. Oh, as Brandon clips the wall there. Not full concentration there from Brand, the man Glover. There, unfortunate from Brand. As we'll go on board with Brett Koch, I believe he's ahead of Jay, and he is, so we'll go on Jay straight after. See what Brett can do after he's had a bit of time off. He is hitting the wall, a bit of scruffy lap there from Brett. He's losing the front wing quite a lot there, and I believe he may peel into the pits. Nope, he's going to finish the lap, so this is definitely a banker from him. So I'm not expecting a representative time. See what time is it going to be. It's going to be a 110 flat, even with that damaged front wing, as we'll go on board with Jay. Into Raskas now is going into the pits. Okay then, so we'll go on board with the debut driver Lickle as he cuts the corner there. Was that invalid? We'll have to wait and see what Edward can do. Nice and tidy through Casino there, hits the wall there, bit of lack of concentration. Now he's approaching the Grand Hotel hairpin. Nice and tidy line there from Edward. I've got to give him that. Now into Portier. Now entering the tunnel. Oh yeah, Mark SB and Lee Kelly have done the exact same time. Wow, I didn't even notice that. Good job there from those two. Lickle now is still pushing into swimming pool section, absolutely flying that Ferrari right now, but losing the rear a lot there. He's making mistakes. Can't cause much. There's an Alfa Romeo gone backwards. As it is the Bottle Howe getting ready to start his lap. He doesn't like Monaco. We do know this. See what the Bottle Howe can do. As he'll be the only one out on the lap time currently right now. Then it will be Lee Kelly who'll be next. to be on the lap, as I will go on board with him after Sondre has finished his lap. But however, nice tidy through turn 3. So not turn 3. Yeah, turn 3 into Casino now. Going into turn 5. Almost hits the wall there, but doesn't. Now into the hairpin. Nice and tidy. Into turn 7 now. Into turn 8, Portier. Nice and tidy exit there from Sondre Sorhaug. See what Bottle can do. Into the back. Oh, a bit of his wings gone there. And more of his wings gone. And he's gave up on that lap. So we will go on board with Lee Kelly, who is on a lap right now. Just looks like he's absolutely flooring it through turn 3 and 4 into Casino. Nice and tidy, not hitting the walls at all like I've seen from a few other drivers. He surprisingly stays in first gear there. I would have stayed in second. Through Portier, nice tidy exit, none of the rear kicking out like I've seen from another driver. Into tunnel. See what he can do into this chicane. Nice and tidy entry there from Lee Kelly. It's just approaching to back's corner. Got to get this right, mate. One mistake and you will lose a bit of your wing. Nice tie there from Lee. Into Raskas now with the final 2 corners. What time is it going to be? Another great exit there from Lee Kelly. Will he beat his provisional best time? Yes, he does. 4/10 improvement there. 1:09.4. Good lap there from Lee Kelly. As we'll go on board with Jay. I believe he's currently out on a flying lap. Ooh, runs extremely wide there, Jay does. As Mark Espy, only a few thousandths of a second, beats Lee Kelly this time with a 1:09.405, 2 thousandths of a second faster than Lee Kelly. So this race is going to be close between those two. Ooh, Jay could have invalidated it there. Let's see how we'll go on a cockpit view actually, see how he takes the final part of the sector 3, as he's done a 51.8 in sector 2. Don't know if that's quick or not. Bit of a lock up in the Raskas. Rides a bit of the wall. Doesn't clip the final 2 corners. His yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Hits the wall on the exit. However, what time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:09.7. Promotes himself to P3. So third place there for Jay. As who's ahead? Is Louis going to finish like Louis does? P1, 1:08.5. So he found a lot of time there. Quickest so far. What about Edward? Let's see what he can do through swimming pool. Oh, hits the wall again. Little is not finding the Ferrari comfortable at all. Just making tiny errors, which is costing him a lot of time. As he's going to do a 1:91. Takes P2 even with that bit of a crash he had there. What about the champion point leader currently, Matthew Alder? Will he be able to smash both ILRT drivers' time, or will Lewis take pole position yet again? I believe he took pole last week, so I have to wait and see what Matthew can do. There's yells in sector 3, so he's further ahead for Matthew, and it isn't Sondre. Sondre is the next person I'm going to have a look at, who is on a lap. Matthew's also making the same mistake as everybody else, hitting the wall. And he almost drifts the car into the pits there. As we'll go on board with Sorhaug yet again. Renault is the leaders in the constructors, so both drivers haven't set times yet. Will Sondre finally get a podium this weekend? Bit cautious there in the swim pool section to try and avoid the wall. Into Raskas he goes. So close, almost reaching the wall there. Through the final 2 corners, what kind of exit? It's going to get a decent exit. See what time it's going to be. 1:98. Invalid, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. And he could be doing another lap. As Lee Kelly's gone out on another set of soft tyres. Someone is yellowed in sector 1. Brett's done 3 laps on his soft tyres. If he wants to use them as the race tyre, that ain't really the best strategy. I'd get a fresh set of softs, go back out. But Lee Kelly is on a lap and he's on the fastest tyre currently. Is Matthew still in the pits? Surprised neither Renault driver has done a lap, because on their final attempts they could be held up. Nice tight exit there from Lee at Portier. Almost hitting the wall though, but nice tight exit so far. Into the chicane he goes. Oh, and Lee Kelly's done a rookie mistake and has lost his left front tyre. Turned too early and has hit the wall. And that has cost him of a pole position, even a podium spot in the qualifying order. That is very unfortunate from Lee Kelly. A very rookie mistake from Lee. So they're still in the pits. However, Matthew's going out on a set of hard tyres. Now, I don't know what Matthew's strategy is, because I know you can make a one-stop soft to medium, and it is the quicker strategy. So, let's see what the championship point leader is thinking. Maybe this is actually just banking his tyres, trying to get the perfect lines before he does his actual lap. I'll have to wait and see, because he's the only one, I believe, who's going to start his lap who hasn't done a lap yet. So watch on board with Matthew Alder. As Mark Espy is also retired from the session in Sector 3. Is anyone near Sector 3? Louis is, but... Oh, has he lost it? Yeah, Mark is... Oh, unfortunate for Mark there. He's hit into his wheel into turn 17 and 18 there. Oh, hang on a minute. I know what Matthew is doing. Oh no, he can't be doing that. Sondre's actually on an outlap, so... However, Sondre's going to have to... oh no. Jay's also on an outlap. My apologies. Still, Louis leads over 0.6 of a second, 1.8.5 right now. With Edward in second with 1.9.1. With third and fourth out currently with a 1.9.4. Oh, is Matthew almost loses the rear end yet again as he does peel into the pits. I knew this was either a fake or banker, and whoa, what has happened here? What has happened here? Jay has no front wing. Sondre has damage. If these two come to blows, as the only person who is out on track currently right now is actually Brett, who's actually on a lap. So we will go and watch Brett into turn 2. He's now approaching. Entering turn 3 now. Absolutely flat out, so close to the wall there. Into Casino. Nice tidy there for Brett in sector 1. Into the hairpin he goes. Let's see what line he takes. Takes a similar line to everybody else is doing. Nice and tidy there from Brett. Now he's entering Portier. Into the tunnel he goes. I don't know if he's being cautious currently. I can't really tell. I know he did improve on his he did a 10 something earlier when he made a mistake, but he did a 1.96, but currently he is up on his time, 3/10 almost. Let's see what he can do into Rascas now, see if he can gain any more time. Nice tidy exit, none of the wheels kicking out or anything through the final 2 corners. See what Brett can do. A 1.9.1, provisional 3rd place, so steals that from Mark and Lee Kelly, and Mark is actually 4th with medium tyres. So he possibly could get the fast lap near the end of the race. As Jay is now the next person who will be on a lap. I know Brett probably won't be on a lap anymore since he's on his in-lap possibly. So also we can see Louis and Edward also coming out on out laps, and Matthew, oh, that may be questioned. Don't know if Jay's I don't know why Jay did that. Yeah, Sondre will just have enough time. Enough fact now, we're going to go on board with Jay, entering now into turn 1. Let's see what time he's going to do. Oh, hits the wall into turn 1 there. Into turn 3, runs wide, but a tight line into Casino, has to get it so close to the wall. Great X there from Jay, as it yells yet again in sector 2. Into their pin corner he goes. A bit tighter than everybody else I've seen go around there, however. But if he thinks that can find him more time, through Portier. His fast lap is on a set of mediums of 197, so Jay could actually be very quick on a set of soft tyres currently. As we will go on board with Edward straight after Jay. Oh, that could be invalidated. Is it invalidated? No, it's not. He goes gear 4. Oh, he hits the wall yet again. And again. And yeah, that is invalid. And Edward crashed. Edward is round and has to wait. And I don't know what these two are doing. Let's get out of the way of the Mercedes there from Edward. So Edward's lap is no more. And we now know that Louis will not be starting first. It actually will be Edward. What is he doing? Ah, he's retiring. Was that a deliberate attempt to mess up Matthew's lap? We'll have to wait and see, because Matthew is flying currently on those medium tyres. What time is it going to be? Sondre will be next. We'll go on board with. So Matthew is going to complete this lap. Jumps over the curb there. Let's see what time it's going to be. It's going to be a 197. P6 from the championship leader. What about Sondre? Almost out of ERS. And out of ERS he is. What time is it going to be from the Sorhaug himself? A 110.2 there. P9 there from Sondre, and I believe Brandon's actually 10th. However, it does say Louis is in first, but with that 5 grid place penalty, it'll be Lickle first, Brett second, Mark in third, Lee Kelly would be fourth, Matthew will be possibly promoted to fifth. Then it'd be Louis, then it'd be Brandon in 7th, Jay 8th, Sondre in 9th, and Can in 10th. But the fast lap in quali was from Louis a 1:08.525, still 5/10 quicker than Edward in second in the Ferrari. So, cheers for explaining, Louis, that's alright. As long as you didn't do it on purpose, you know. I know he spun as well. Positive this track was meant to be in night, but the hosts forgot to put it in night. Well, looks like we'll be doing it day for F1 then. IRL F1 will be doing it in the daytime for Monaco. So will Lickle or Edward, will he win his debut race in IRL? Or will Brett, Mark, Lee Kelly or Matthew Alder swallow up his dreams of winning the Monaco Grand Prix today? We'll have to wait and see. As there's Matthew running a bit off there. As Matthew's not liking the way the pack's getting slowed down. As Brett wants Edward to speed up, but Edward is not letting it. Edward has the priority though, he is the car ahead, he can decide however the pace he wants to go. Isn't against the rules. However, Lickle is in first, Brett second, Mark third. Will Mark do another podium added to his name and stop Matthew's streak of podiums? We'll have to wait and see. As now we go up to 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off the way we go. And it looks like Brett's had a decent start, but so has Edward, but so has Martin Lee. Lost a bit of time, it looked like there into turn 1. Has there been contact in turn 1? No. However, Sondre hasn't really lost the place, even though it's saying he has. Brandon's gained a place apparently. Matthew has lost the place, and oh, look at the carnage already as we're going into TV pod mode on Matthew, battling with Louis, who qualified in P1, is now in a P5. Matthew is already losing time, but however he is on the harder compound of tyre compared to everybody else. Oh, there was more contact there, it looked like, between the ILRT driver and the VSR driver there. Enough said though. However, out of the tunnel, Edward leads with Brett in second, Mark third, Lee Kelly P4. And Mark Sykes just got a 5-second time penalty exceeding track limits. Louis in 5th, Matthew Alder in 6th, Brandon in 7th, Jay in 8th, and Jay has lost a bit of his front wing. This is crucial for his championship. Can in 9th, and 10th is Sondre. Where's this pace from Brett come from? He's actually challenging one of the top guys right now. Brett has not been this close. Brett is feeling hungry for the race win today. Let's see what Brett can do. He's pulled a bit of a gap now, 1.3 seconds off Mark. Let's see on telemetry, using, they're both in the same ERS. Mark is losing a little bit of time to Brett. Has he got front wing damage? Doesn't look like it. Oh, what's happened to Lee Kelly? Lee Kelly's made a mistake. Lee's lost more of his front wing. Lee has to pit. Now the only way this one-stop strategy is going to work is if he goes on the hard tyres. But look at this. Matthew and Bran are already challenging Louis, who is on the softer tyres right now, as Brett is still in DRS range of Edward currently right now, which is quite surprisingly. I'm very surprised how quick Brett's pace has come. As the yellows in sector 3, and that is Jay. Jay is stopped on track. What happened to Jay? Why is he not getting disqualified? Ah, there he is. Edward now building up a little bit of a gap now to Brett, currently almost 0.8 of a second. Brett's actually gained a tiny bit now though through Raskas. But look at Mark. Mark is in trouble. He's got Louis, who won, I believe, last week, right behind him with the championship point leader. His other rival right behind. Matthew sets a new fastest lap, demolishes Edwards' time with a 1:12.2 on a set of medium tyres. As yellows again in sector 1, I believe that is Jay's car retiring, as Sondre and Lee Kelly in 8th and 9th, Can in 7th, Brandon in 6th place currently on the medium compound of tyre. Matthew is trying to find a way through, but Louis smartly blocking him off there. Matthew knows he can win this race. Look how close Matthew is getting on the gearbox of Louis, but we'll go on board with Louis and see if Louis can get past Mark through into the little chicane. He's getting close, he's getting extremely close. He's going to go for the lunge. No, he doesn't. But oh, he hits the rear end of him. Needs to be careful on his brakes there, as Matthew is just waiting for one little mistake for Louis to make to get that free position. However, this is now turning into a 4-car battle. However, the battle for the lead is still hotting up. Brett and Edward currently 0.5 of a second of each other. Brett is still staying within DRS of Edward. Louis so close to Mark right now. Louis making a move now on the inside. He's gone round. He's round. Oh, when there's contact between him and Brandon there, that was a bit of a... Oh, he's actually done something illegal there. He isn't allowed to reset to track. That may be investigated. However, Brandon now in the hairpin. It looked like he got a bit of front wing damage, and he has. He's lost a bit of his end plate there. That is crucial for Brandon. He's going to have to stay out if he wants to make this one-stop work. However, Matthew is a bit happier now. However, I don't know if he got a bit of wing damage with the instant either. And yes, he did actually. He got a bit of the instant. And he's going on the inside into the chicane. Mark has to use the escape road. Mark has to give him the position to Matthew. Matthew, the championship leader, is currently in 3rd place. Now his objective is to catch up with Brett and Edward. And he's got a lot of clean air to do it. Even with that damaged wing, he's pulling away from Mark. Edward still leads after lap 6 is about to start. Brett in 2nd place currently, as Brandon does peel into pit. So Brandon is doing a 2-stop strategy, it looks like. Or is that the white wall tight? No, it's the white. He's doing a 1-stop then. He's going hards. And Louis also peeling into pit for a set of hards as well. As he jumps Brandon there, so he had no wing damage. So Brandon will be a bit annoyed there. As Lee's on the attack on Sondre Sorhaug for P8 currently right now. McLaren versus Renault. It's good to see McLaren being back up into the points. It's currently the gap between Matthew and Brett, 4.1 seconds. However, remember, Matthew's got a bit of wing damage, so he won't be catching up quickly. Now, Sondre and Lee have lost a lot of time from Brandon, even with their pit stops. Currently 8 seconds off Brandon currently right now, and to the leader they are almost 40 seconds. So 40.6 for Sondre and 40.9 for Lee Kelly. They're around about 2 pit stops down. As Edward peels into the pit, and he's gone on a set of hard tyres. I don't know what strategy he's thinking, because you can easily make the softer mediums work. Is he going to... Ooh, that just within the line. Can takes people. Sondre gets another time penalty added to his time. However, that's just now promoted Brett into the lead. This is the first time I believe he's ever led an IRL F1 race, and he's currently leading the Monaco race, and he was very close to Lickle, and about 5/10 of a second. The gap between him is 16.3, so there's a pit stop round here in 18 to 16 second stop pits window. So Brett is going to have to start pushing if he wants to stay ahead of Edward after the pit stop sequence. But look at Matthew, he's caught dramatically. 2.2 seconds currently right now between him and Brett, and Matthew's got wing damage. As Brett peels into the pits, so I don't know what people are doing. Matthew's also peeling into the pits. Thinks the medium to soft strategy will not work. Mark is also in, so will this give Edward provisional pole? Brett is coming out now as Louis has retired. The person who I believe actually... Oh, and there's contact between Lee Kelly and Sondre. Can leads his first IRL F1 race as well. Edward takes second, Brett in third. Matthew takes P4. Has he had his wing? Yes, he's had a brand new front wing. Mark has lost position to Matthew in fifth. Brandon in sixth currently right now, right on the tail of Mark. Lee and Sondre, after they've been both spun round, 7th and 8th now, as the winner of last week's race is out in the Monaco Grand Prix. That's very unfortunate there for Louis. So now is Can going to pit? Is Can going to do what everybody else has done and peel into the pits early? We'll have to wait and see. No, Can's staying out. So Can is definitely, I believe, doing the medium and soft strategy. Edwin in second. So Edwin's got more of a challenge now. This guy is on the quickest set of tyres than the hards, as Matthew gets his first penalty now added to his time. Brett still in third place on a podium currently right now. Matthew in fourth, so Matthew's podium streak could still be alive after Can peels into the pit. He's also had a front wing change, so Matthew's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch up with the leaders. Mark is getting chased by the tailpipe right now. Look how close Brandon is. Oh, Brandon actually gets so close, he hits the wall. Lack of concentration there. Brandon's just taking his time. I know these hard tyres can make it to the end, because I made it to the end from lap 4. But I was a bit lenient on him on the first few laps, so but we have to wait and see. Now Brand's going to face up against Mark currently right now. Lee Kelly's 25 seconds off Brand. Another lock up there from Brand there. And this is the only closest battle on track. However, the closest battle is actually coming up to between Lickle and Can. So I'm actually going to have to peel on board with this. Edward is actually catching up with Can right now. See what Edward can do. See if Edward can take the lead from Can before Can peels into the pits. He needs to if he wants to have a chance of winning this race. Edward there takes a different line than what Can does, and it seems to be working. On TV pod view. We have a bit of a telemetry up right now. Let's see what times Lickle is doing and see how close, how much ERS he's burning compared to Can. Oh, Can makes a crucial mistake there into the chicane. Edward a bit of lag there from Edward there. However, Edward's all over the back of him. Will Edward have enough straight line speed to pass Can on in the entry of turn 1? No, he doesn't. Not at the moment. So stay on board. Sondre peels into the pits yet again. It looks like he's on the medium tire to try and steal the fastest lap. Is Edward going for it? It's a late dive. It is a very late dive. He's got to give space to Can. He has to give space to Can. He's giving him a lot of space there. Great move there from Can. Sorry, I mean from Edward there. Outstanding move round the outside into Casino. And Edward takes pole position currently. However, Brett is flying right now on those hard tyres. Cutting the gap 4.1 seconds to Can, and it was 6 seconds earlier. It's a great move there from Edward. So the Ferrari team got a decent drive now as someone has crashed in Sector 2. Don't know who that is, but someone has crashed. Brett is flying. He's gained a second within a few corners. And Sondre has actually been lapped. Is out for another lap on those medium tyres, just showing everyone that medium strategy can work. You've got the right setup. Brett is still third place, still catching up. Alder yells again in Sector 3. Who was that? Brandon. He was very close to Mark. Now is Brandon cracking under pressure? Brandon's really struggling currently. As there is no battles on track currently, so we'll go and watch the championship point leader, who is ahead of his teammate. And Matthew is actually catching up with Brett, it looks like, but Brett is also catching up with Can. Oh, Matthew almost hits the wall there out of swimming pool. We do know Matthew's got a few penalties. The only person who hasn't got penalties, I believe, is actually Cannon Edward. Sonny gets another time penalty added to his time. Matthew lost a bit of time after that mistake, though, against Brett. 3.9 seconds. He lost 3/10 there. Out of swimming pool, because it was 3.6. He is gaining his time back, however, but we're going to go on board with Brett, because Brett is starting to close into Can currently right now. He was around 3.5 seconds off Edward. Brett has spun! Brett has spun! Matthew is in P3. Brett has done. I don't know what Brett has done. Oh, Brett! I don't know what Brett was doing. I don't know if he looked in his mirrors or what. He almost rear-ended. Sorry, reversed into Mark there. That was very dangerous there from Brett. So Matthew's podium streak is still alive as he's currently in third place. I was saying that Brett was flying, but I didn't mean literally while he's spinning out. Look how close though he's getting to Bran. He's miles faster than Bran currently. Matthew is gaining a bit on. Oh, big lock up from both these two drivers, from Brett and Bran. Lee Kelly sets a new fast lap, 1:12.2. Will Sondre even get closer? But look how close Brett's getting to Bran. He knows he's faster. Will he make a dive into Raskas? No, he doesn't. Bran defends. now through the final 2 corners. So who's going to get the better exit? Oh, it looked like Bran got a better exit there. Is he close enough to make an entry into turn 1? No, not close enough at the moment. Oh, Brett almost loses it again. Brett is struggling right now with no ABS. Brett needs to make a move as soon as possible because he's getting really annoyed with Bran. Bran's costing him a lot of time. As I will go on board with Matthew very soon. He's almost under a second from Can and has gained a bit of time actually on Edward there by a whole second. Oh, very close to the wall. Because it's the new fastest lap, 1:11.9. So Lee's now starting to put the pedal to the metal, but still got 49 seconds to catch up with Brett. Look how close Brett is shoving Bran through swimming pool. Bran won't be enjoying that as Can gets another penalty. We will go on board with Matthew. Yeah, we will. Matthew is already making a move alongside, basically doing the copycat move of Edward, but did it before Casino there, so he did it a lot better there in terms of getting the move quicker done. However, Edward still pulled off a masterclass through Casino around the outside on Can. Now, unfortunately, Brett is not having any luck on Brandon right now. Oh, is he going to go for a dive? Oh, almost contact there between those two. Brett needs to be very careful for his lunges. Almost contact, almost hit Bran, and that could have ruined both of their races and possibly helped Lee Kelly catch up. Well, lap 16 currently out of 39. Still a long way to go into this race. Look at that, Brett is just eating his ERS and Bran's not even pushing. He's saving his ERS, just relaxing, basically having a drink in the car, and Brett is absolutely sweating gallons and trying to pass Brandon when he can, but currently he just can't find a hole and make a move. You can just see the frustration out of Brett straight out of the final corner, instantly hitting the throttle and just can't find an opening. Now Matthew looks like he's actually losing a little bit of time. Oh no, he's gaining time now from Edward. Edward may feel like he's safe currently in first, but Matthew, when he starts putting his hammer down, he will start to catch up very quickly. Well, not quick enough, because Brandon and Brett I'm going to stay on board with because it's the only battle on track. Brett needs to be more careful with his throttle. This is why he's losing time. He's just too throttle happy, really, and Bran is just chilling out, relaxing, still in the ERS mode 0. In swim pool, he just gains. In sector 2 and 3, Brett just gains a load of time. But the final corner what lets him down. Not the best X there from Brett. Trying to be more cautious on the throttle, but either way, it's still losing him time as Can finally pits and goes on this set of hard tyres. So he couldn't make those mediums last. Can is in P6 now. He could possibly challenge Brandon and Brett. Only 8.4 seconds up, with those two always battling. It's going to slow him down quite quickly. Gap to the leader from Matthew and Edward, 5.4 seconds. As Bran gets a penalty. I don't know what for there, but Bran does get a penalty. Brett's backed off a little bit now. He's relaxing a bit. Beat that. So there you go. A bit more sector. Oh, someone has crashed in sector 2. Who is it? Nope. I think someone's actually letting somebody through. What about Brett now? Will he get a better exit? fair exit, but he needs to save his ERS as well. He's got a lot of managing to do. Brandon gets another time penalty added to his time. I don't know what really he's doing wrong there. Oh, Brett almost makes another mistake. Is that Sondre ahead? Sondre is ahead of them. On lap 25, we'll go for a reshuffle through the grid. As Brett is pitting now, is Brett going on the medium tyres deliberately to stink in case Brandon's peeling in the pit again, or has Brett got wing damage? And I think Brett's actually got wing damage there. Jack is down and Brett is underway. But he's not under threat from Lee or Sondre. But he's being passed by Can. Those two possibly could have a battle later on. So we're going to go on board with the P2 man currently. He's slowly catching up with Edward right now. Oh, but he's got a bit of wing damage there. Has Edward got wing damage? Yep, Edward's got wing damage as well, so they both got the same amount of wing damage on their cars. There is no battles on track. This is where, when the pit stops, it gets a bit boring. However, Matthew, to his championship rival, is still going to get ahead of him by 3 points extra towards Mark. Because that's the closest person to him at the moment, with Jade getting disqualified, getting 0 points this race. So Matthew's quite now comfortable with his championship lead. Yellow's in sector 2. Oh, that was Can. So Can has lost a bit of his front wing. So Can's made a mistake there. Going the gap between Edward and Matthew now, 3.3 seconds. Matthew is flying. Oh, Edward has come in the stream. His wheel is dead. He is in AI. Oh no, this isn't good. This isn't good for Edward. His wheel has died on him. Hopefully he can get back power into it. Even though Lickle is in AI, Matthew's still going to find a hard way to get past them because it's AI. Because the AI can be a bit unforgiving. Is Edward's wing going to cost him? And Edward has got his wheel back under control. Matthew had his chance and has now failed, but he's within DRS range. Oh, whoa, that was very close there. Edward peels into the pits there. So Edward is in the pits, going to have a new front wing, going to go on the softest tyre. Now, wait, what? That said soft tyre to me. He's on the medium tyre, I apologise. And Mark took P2 now. Matthew leads. Mark in second. And Edward is in third, and the Mercedes pit crew are coming out into the garage. So that means Brandon is peeling to the pits. Not Brits, peeling to the pits. Will can jump Brandon with a one-stop strategy. And yes, he will. Can is going to, looks like, going to get a P40. I think that will be his best result of the season so far. Brett has gone up to 5th. Brandon is in 6th. And Lee and Sondre are just into the hairpin corner. Now, will Matthew pit? Gap between him and Lee is 23 seconds. Will he pit? Yeah, Matthew does pit. Now this is surprising. Is he stopping Edward getting the fastest lap? Will this make Mark win this race? Because you can make those hot tyres last. I don't understand why people pit. Mark is going to take the lead. Will this be Mark's first race win and a rightful challenger to Matthew for the championship? Will Edward get ahead of Matthew? Matthew's now just about to come out of the pits. Edward gets miles ahead of Matthew there. However, they both got brand new wings. Oh, Edward hits the wall there. Matthew's lost a bit of time there to Edward. Now Mark's got a lot of laps left, but if he wants to win this race, he shouldn't pit, he should stay out. He's going to be in a 3-wide battle for the lead very soon, with 2 fast drivers right behind him. Matthew is closing as Edward got more damage to his wing, because I know he hit the wall. No damage as far as I know, but they're getting very close to that wall out of the swimming pool section, so maybe their selps are, I don't know, not low on downforce, because I believe they'll be running 10-11 wings, as Edward does set the new fastest lap, 1 of them flat. Let's see what Matthew's pace, see what he can do. Oh, there's lap cars getting in his way for Matthew. Sondre gets out of the way very well. So does Lee Kelly. Great sportsmanship from Lee Kelly and Sondre Sorhaug to get out of the way from Edward and Matthew Alder. Currently, the gap between Edward and Mark, 7.3 seconds. There's yellows in sector 2. That isn't Mark. So I think that is actually Lee Kelly and Sondre. It's Lee Kelly and Sondre are having a battle into the little chicane. They're going almost rubbing each other's rear there. As we go back on board with Matthew Alder, who's flying quickly now, hits the wall again, and he's really closing up with Edward right now. 1.9 seconds. One of them 0.2, 2/10 down off Edward's lap, but not even pushing though. Matthew is nearest most of the lap, but the gap between Edward and Mark is closing rapidly. 5.1 seconds currently. In last lap in the tunnel it was 7.3. Any graining on Mark's tyres as I can see, so Mark's tyres are fine, so the hards can make it to the end. I don't understand why. I understand why Edward picked, because he had his wheel went dead and he had wing damage. Same with Matthew, but Bran, I don't think he had wing damage, did he? However, the battle between Matthew and Edward is hotting up a tiny bit. Gap's closing up now to 1.5 seconds. Matthew sets a new fast lap, 110.8. 2/10 quicker than Edward. Yeah, it was in sector 3. That was Bran, it looks like. We'll go on board and see who's got the fastest lap for the fastest point. Currently Matthews, the championship point leader, will get an extra point currently. As Yale's again in sector 2. I don't know what is going on. Is that the championship point leader? No. It's Sondre. Sondre has crashed out after Casino Corner into turn 5 there. Very close to Lee and Bran. Lee almost clipped Bran again. You see, it's the biggest position gainer from the start of this race, and it's actually can. 4 places gained, and the biggest losers are currently Lee Kelly and, well, Louis, basically. With 3 positions lost. And Mark's the only one who's currently doing a one-stop strategy. Thing is, he is pushing it a little bit. Those tyres will be dead. Oh, this girl's again in sector 3. Lee's now round. Now this is the fight we wanted to see. Mark versus Edward versus Matthew Alder. Top 3. 3 different cars. All battling out for the championship. Edward may not be in the championship yet, but he could be a championship factor later in this season. We'll go on board with Edward. Look how close he's getting through swimming pool there. He had a lift off a tiny bit. Tries to switch back. Oh, hits Mark a tiny bit there, just shoving him to try and get him through the corner. Hills again in sector 2. Is that? That can. It's Brandon. Brandon's now lost it as well. So something is going on today. I will stay on board with this battle for first place. Will Lickle make a dive bomb into turn 4? Oh, very close and personal between these two. Mark's going to go on the inside, but doesn't hold him off. Mark has just literally lost a lot of time there from Edward. Great move there from Edward to take pole position. Now, if Matthew wants any chance to catch up with Edward quickly, he needs to get past Mark. He's going for the inside. Oh, this is very crucial. Great move there from Matthew, and very risky as well. The trust that Mark would actually give him room through the tunnel. Now it'll be just battle for the top 2. So Mark's tyres must be dead. So will Brett still have a chance to get a podium position then? As Brandon peels into the pits for the softest tyre. Matthew still within DRS of Edward currently, 4/10 of a second. This fight is really upping up. 19.1 in sector 1 there from Matthew, a few tenths down from his position. We're going to go on a TV pod view of Matthew, see where he gains more time on Edward. Now takes a nicer line there through tunnel than what Edward's doing. Edward's taking a bit of a turn. Look how close Matthew's getting. Edward's getting decent exits. Alright, little chicanes. Yellow's in sector 3. Now I believe that is either Lee Kelly or Sondre. Making a bit of mistakes there. Oh, it's Brandon, because Brandon's only just pitted. Lickle's hardly using any ERS, and that's probably why Matthew caught quite a lot there in Sector 1. But remember, Matthew's got 2 penalties, I believe. There's again in Sector 3. Matthew is getting really close, but he's not using all his ERS. He's just trying to save so much. So he can get ready to make a nice one. Oh, he hits the wall as he lost a bit of his wing. Brand sets a new fast lap, and he has... Oh, this isn't good for Matthew. He's cracking under the pressure. He's lost a bit of his wing there. And Edward is staying perfectly calm. No wing damage currently on the Ferrari. Brand's got the fastest lap currently on the softest tyre. There's another very close battle right behind. Sondre and Lee are battling it out of the tunnel. Stay on board with these two. See if Matthew gets a better entry into the chicane. Matthew's, that damage on his front wing on Matthew is just literally costing him so much time. And Edward doesn't have that damage. Matthew did have the chance to pass Lickle when his wheel did die, but right now I don't think he's actually going to get ahead of Lickle. So we've only a few laps left to go. Plus he's got 6 seconds of penalty, so he needs to get past and build up a 6-second gap. Hits the wall there though into turn 5. To the hairpin corner they go. Brandon now gets a 3-second time penalty, but it's not really going to bother him. Yellow's in sector 2 and 3. Lee has gone round in a worse place he could go. Matthew's took pole. Oh, Matthew's gone. Matthew's hit the wall. Contact there between Edward and Matthew. I don't know what I saw there. I just went off the battle 2 seconds, and then Matthew finally tries to make a move, and I miss it. I don't know what happened there between those two, but there was contact. And will Matthew peel into the pit? Yes, he does. This will mean Mark is going to take P2 from Matthew. I don't know what contact happened there, but Matthew may report that to the student, and that will probably be investigated, whatever happened. And also, whatever happened between Sondre and Lee Kelly. If everyone's pitting out for soft tyres. Now, there is a few laps left, but I don't think... Oh, Matthew's actually lost another position from Brett. I don't think that will last. No, Matthew's got to get through lap traffic as well. I don't think Matthew's going to catch up with Mark or Lickle. He might catch up with Brett, but I don't think he's going to get second or first now. It's basically out the window. Brett is actually getting challenged by Lee Kelly right now. I understand Lee Kelly is allowed to actually pass a lap car. Well, since he's been lapped, he's allowed to unlap himself. He is on the faster tyre, so in my opinion, if I was Brett, I'd just let him go. He's on the faster tyre. But Brett is not doing it. He's allowed to not let him by. But it's going to cost him time. He tried to go for the launch into turn 1. Thing is, though, Lee's going to have to let Matthew through. And he does. Lee lets Matthew through. Now Matthew will be able to chase down Brett. The thing is, Lee has to actually now let Brandon through, I believe. Very shortly. Yep, he's letting him through now. So could Matthew steal 3rd place from Brett with only a few laps to go? Welcome to 2 new viewers who've just joined the stream. If you've just missed it, there's a bit of contact between Edward and Matthew, and Lee Kelly actually spun round near the swimming pool section and could have caused an horrific crash. But other than that, Edward still leads Mark in 2nd, and Brett has retaken 3rd from Matthew after he pitted, but Matthew is challenging him currently right now. He is on the faster tyre as his yellows in sector 3. Now I don't know who that was for. However, Matthew's not waiting around. He's going to go on the outside. Will he make it work? Oh, very close to the wall. Brett almost put Matthew into the wall there. Matthew gets a decent exit out of turn 1. Banging tyres they go. Round the outside, Matthew's going. Beautiful move there from Matthew. Bit of contact, however, but decent move nonetheless. Sondre has been disqualified from the race. That is who was commented on the stream. The bottle has done it again. He got himself disqualified in the summer season in Mexico, and he has done it in Monaco now. Well, that's unfortunate. So Sondre will be getting 0 points, I believe. It's very unfortunate there. As Matthew takes his 3rd place now, and there's no way he can catch up with Mark within just a few laps. Even Lee is a lap down. He's quicker than Bran. He's quicker than Bran. Bran might as well just let him through. Edward is starting his penultimate lap before the last lap. And he's led the race actually from start to finish in theory. There had a few altercations with the wall, but he's driven a very solid race. Mark's in 2nd, so he'll be happy with P2. Even with the penalties he's got. Matthew just set the new fastest lap, 110.4, so beats Brand's lap by how much? By a few tenths there. Brandon does pit for a new set of soft tyres, but he has just got enough time, so Bran could be the one to steal Matthew's fastest lap. And since there's no battles, I will go on board with that soon. As Edward is approaching the final 2 corners to start his final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. His debut race as well, so it's going to be a very good race there for Lickle. Can slowly catching up. He's on the softer tyre, but he's slowly catching up with Edward right now. last time Lickle will be going through the little chicane out of the tunnel and into back. A fast section into swim pool he goes. The last time he'll be entering. Final 3 corners in the Rascas. Brandon gets 3 second time penalty to his time, so his fast lap may not count. Final 2 corners, and Edward is going to win his debut race, IRL F1 Season 6 Round 6 at Monaco. So Lickle wins there. Mark is going to take P2, it looks like. So here comes Mark around the final corner. Takes P2, will be happy with that after doing 32 laps on those hard tyres. Matthew may be a bit disappointed in third after a bit of an altercation there. And Brett will take P4. Great drive there from Brett. Brandon is going to try, I believe, steal the fastest lap, I believe. So we will stay on board with him. We'll go with a TV pod for the final few corners. Here comes Bran. Did he still? I don't know if he stopped. I think he was actually down on his time. Bran does take P6. Even with a low count of the race today, it's been actually a very fun race, a chaotic race. There you go, Lickle wins his first round of the IRL season. It's a great drive there from Edward. Mark takes another podium in second place, and Matthew 6th podium on the trot there. Well done there from Matthew, as we will get the interviews done very shortly after I've done the official results. So the official results are: Edward wins with his fastest lap was a 1:11 flat. However, that got beaten by Matthew, I believe, a 1:10.4, so he takes the fastest lap point. So Edward wins, Mark in second, Matthew in third after a bit of an altercation with the race winner. Brett in fourth, Can in fifth, Brandon in sixth, Lee Kelly in seventh, and Lewis unfortunately DNF'd earlier in the race. And the 2 drivers who got disqualified is Sondre and Jay. Well, this has been your Monaco Grand Prix. As F2 will be tomorrow at 4:30, so we'll have 3. So see what everybody can do there tomorrow, as I'm now going to send invites to the top 3 for their interviews. I've got to search them. I know Mark and Matthew would want to join interviews, so send them as well. Boom, done. So I've sent the guys invites who want to join invites. Race winners just join the party. Just wait for everybody else, and then I'll get started with the interviews. Well, before I start, Edward, just got to make sure that your voice is on always allow. Ah, that's good. Well then, you won your debut race in IRL. Great win nonetheless at Monaco. How do you feel after that win?
Uh, Good, but it could have been better. Will died, of course, gave me damage. I had to pit. Blizzard pitted next lap. Caught up to me a bit, stuck behind Mark, passed him. Blizzard caught up again. Lap cars like severely blocked me at the chicane. Me and Blizzard side by side, and after turning, I'm going into a barrier, and then we collide. And then apart from that, went to the race and went to the end, just tried finishing nice and safe and sound.
Right then. Well, so I didn't see the altercation between you and Matthew like on the late stages of the race. Could you tell us what happened between you two?
Yeah, well, come down into chicane. I don't know what happened. Two cars must have crashed or something, but I got severely blocked by them two. Gave me a terrible run out of the chicane. I got a bit of oversteer coming out of the exit. Me and Matthew side by side into back, and two side by side into back doesn't usually work, and it showed once again. I was on the outside versus the inside. Had nowhere to go to turn in, or I was going into a barrier turn in. I think must have made a big contact there.
Well, at least then you told us what it was, because unfortunately I just missed it because Lee lost it through swimming pool. But the last question I'm going to ask before I ask you about next week: do you think you're going to be a championship rival against Blizzard, or are you just going to wait your turn or anything like that?
I mean, don't really know. Blizzard's of course leading the championship by a good bit, 100 and something points he's on. I'm on 25, of course. So it's going to be a big call to try to catch up, but just go by race basis and see what happens.
Alright then, well, it looks like the other two drivers are not going to turn up, so I'm going to ask you your last question. Next week, I believe it is Italy. Where do you think you're going to be in Italy, like position-wise, and how confident are you around there?
P4 maybe. Big. It's going to be hard to get into some ABS pieces brake late because, of course, Monza with the high speed corners and heavy braking. It's just going to be a difficult one, but I'll do the best I can to do as well as I can.
Well then, well, thanks for joining this interview, and well, I hope you see you next week. And I'm going to invite Brett to the interview as well, since he's been asking for one off. Yeah, see you next one. So just wait for Brett. See who he is. Just make sure that he can hear me. Alright, Brett, before I interview, mate, make sure your voice is on always allow.
Yep, I know.
Alright then, good man. Well then, I believe you got P4
Yes.
today. You were actually challenging Lickle at the start of the race. Were you actually thinking you could win today, or was that just trying to challenge him, make a mistake, and I don't know, try a different strategy near the end of the race?
Well, since I've been like practicing a lot more and working on my pace, also done new settings on my wheel, so I feel like I definitely had the pace to challenge for the win, but sadly I just on the lap that Edward pitted, when I stayed out, my tyres just blew up and they were in 108 degrees during the lap, so I lost about 2-3 seconds to Edward, and then I was pushing on, I was chasing down Mark, and I was stuck behind Brandon at this point, and
yeah.
I mean, I didn't really want to do it. I didn't want to make a move on him because I didn't want to ruin Brandon's race. So I was kind of sticking behind him, but I needed to get by him because I was losing. I think it was like probably a second and a half a lap to Mark at the point.
Yeah, unfortunately we did see you lose it out of the tunnel chicane with, as you've said, overheating tyres, and you were having a nice battle with Brandon, but you did a very comeback drive near the end to get P4 with a few incidents. I believe Sondre got disqualified and a few other drivers pitted another time, so it did help you there to get fourth.
after Matthew, I don't know what happened to him, but he pitted again. And I also spun again at the same place because I lost the back end, and then my car kind of just slipped right into the barrier. So before that happened, I was catching Mark 2 seconds a lap, and I was at that point I'll put the gap from 17 seconds all the way down to 8.3, and then that happened. But then after that, my tyres were at 111 coming through the final corner, and that's when Blizzard came out, so I couldn't really fight him that much.
Well, that's all the questions I'm going to ask you, except the final question. Italy next week, where do you think you're going to be?
I'm just practicing. I'll see what the pace is like. I'll be home for another top 5 position. I'd have the pace, I reckon.
Alright then, so you're thinking of top 5. Alright then, we'll have to wait and see till then. Well then, this has been International Racing League. Thank you, Brett, for joining the interview with me for your 4th position. Since I let you have the interview today, since the other 2 couldn't make it. However, this has been International Racing League Round 6 IRL Season 6. The winner today is Lickle, Mark in 2nd and Matthew in 3rd. Join us tomorrow for IRL F2 and F3 at 4:30 UK time. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye for now.